We gonna have three boom.
We watching.
Some BTS, John. The biggest group in the world, best group ever. So, it's just like you're biased.
Broke like every record ever.
Bias.
Jimmy, he went #1 in the entire world.
Of course.
He's the first South Korean artist ever to go #1.
Nice.
Of course.
Got a #1.
I know who the best in any genre.
Yo, no. He was here. He was like, and he wasn't trying to like sound offensive on camera. I'm leaving this in. He wasn't trying to sound offensive on camera. He was like, yo, respect to all the other bulls, but whoever bull is, his name Jimmy. He was like, that bull is special. He was like, that bull is special.
Yeah.
He just dropped his first joint or whatever. He got a #1 doing numbers.
I knew he was.
Yeah,
We was talking about that shit before.
Technically, for I think 2 weeks now, he could say he's the #1 artist in the world right now. So respectfully.
For Jimmy. He deserves it. Honestly.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
This is going to be a fire reaction. What's up, Army? Welcome back to Redemption 46 Studios. I'm Nick.
I'm Curtis.
I'm Jarek. I'm Zach.
I'm Pete.
I'm Kay.
I'm Julio.
Y'all know the vibes. Y'all seen the picture. Y'all seen the thumbnail. Y'all know why y'all here.
Why?
YALL, BTS. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Become a real redeemer today. Also jump on the Patreon for exclusive content. The Stetchy Top, Run BTS, In the Soup, Rise Up Maintain, everything else that you love on there. They blocked a lot of the content that we was dropping for the lives, which was a lot of Jimin content and some Shook content. So make sure you guys go on there. YouTube gonna also be giving y'all some special exclusive BTS drip. So no long talk. YALL, I don't know if we did the regular version. I felt like when we did the version before, it was the Nicki Minaj joint. I think we might have did a Nicki Minaj joint, and I think we might have did like 2 live performances outside of the Mama.
You never did this one?
I don't think we ever did this version.
Oh, no.
It was so long ago.
Yeah, but no long talk. We can jump into this. This was different. Let's have a conversation when we're done. We missed the old logo.
This shit hot.
Like, comment, subscribe. Right. So turn this up a little bit.
That was me in Vegas.
Turn this up a little bit.
Can't call me artist, can't call me idol. I'm up for title. What I had no idol. I'm proud of it.
J-Hope. Jimin.
That cadence is like unbeatable.
That you can't stop me loving myself. It was like
Oreo.
you can't stop me loving myself. You can't stop me loving myself. Yeah. J-Hope. I do my thing.
Oh my God.
I love myself. I'm a sucker for that beat part.
That's an incredible shot.
You can't stop me loving myself.
I feel like I need a Corona in my hand.
Shit.
That's incredible.
It's a walkout.
Yes, fan.
It's okay.
I know that's the all the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Here we go. You can't stop me loving myself.
Him.
What you tell the haters? Stop me loving myself.
This video.
Coming live from the 3-1.
Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide.
Hey, Mr. Worldwide on there.
Make sure y'all subscribe. Jump on the Patreon. We're getting into the DK TV to explain Idol. Because the brief summary people always talk about with Idol is this is at a time when BTS was getting hated on by like South Korean artists and people, you know, worldwide and stuff. And this song was kind of a diss song. Kind of just like, you know, basically fuck whatever y'all talking about. You can't stop me loving myself, and we're gonna continue to do what we're doing. So you know, this it's a vibe and this
The
energy.
rap verses did feel a little angry.
It felt a little bit like
A little bit like, come at me, bro. Come at
come at me, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is another one of those tracks that transcends everything, and just a feel good song. We always say on this channel, like sometimes. Y'all know I be them songs like you kind of can't hate even if you don't like bang with it like happy.
Yeah.
Where it's just like y'all can't hate happy. Maybe I don't feel like listening to it, but
Right.
yeah,
Like, you start singing along. He's like, God damn.
yeah. Next thing you know, 2 or 3 joints in, like you know, you singing along. Really, after they do the chorus, by the time the chorus swing back around, you can sing along to this.
You can't dance if you hear this.
Right.
Instantly going through your body like.
Yeah, exactly. And especially when that beat drop.
Right.
Like, it's like, oh, okay. I need to.
I also love. Well, I'm gonna let Zach jump into the fits, but I think the fits on here are like iconic. Like I love everything that was going on. I love those. I won't say like Caribbean type vibes, but like you know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean.
It's
Like
definitely
this,
Corona,
I felt
hookah,
a lot of
we
yeah,
every time you
outside.
say crack that Corona open.
We outside. This is summertime zone.
Jump in the comments and let us know how outside was during that time.
I know the Korean clubs was lit when this joint dropped.
Yeah, but I'm gonna shut the fuck up. I actually want to hear people who haven't heard like the song how y'all felt.
I mean, I've heard the song before, but I've like partially watched the video, but not all the way through because reasons. Don't at me. But I just love the positivity. Even though this is kind of a diss song, I can't listen to BTS and not smile. They always bring a sense of joy to their work. They always bring just this massive energy. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it big. You know what I mean? Even if it's a dramatic or a slow song or whatever, like their energy is on point. I love them. I listen to them when I'm feeling down. You know what I mean? Because their choruses are always tight. This especially is going on my playlist, even though it wasn't before. Don't at me.
That's you cool.
But
There's been a lot of songs we spun the block back on.
Yeah, but
you know.
it's just a feel good song. You know what I mean? Yes, it's a diss, but it is.
This is a
the
diss?
yeah, apparently. According to what Nick was saying.
Like, is this a
I
diss?
see what you're saying now. Wow.
It was so
That's why I can feel that energy.
exactly, and
At
it's
first,
just like
you're bringing it out.
yeah. So I just love their positivity. I love every member for their different personalities. They're just you can't help but to smile. I've repeated myself, but yes, this is how I feel about them, and they are idols, and that's not a negative. People use it as a negative. That's not a negative. So.
I think you hit the nail on the head, like Idol right there, and everything about this stands out. I was like, there's no way in hell you can have a dirty house listen to this, because it's like you put this on when you're cleaning and like everyone.
Jerry for everything to say.
You gotta be into it.
It's like your grandmama's gonna like this song. Anyone's grandmama's gonna like this song.
Grandma loves this. Grandma loves this.
I feel like this will piss haters off even some more. Because Because like I said, the song is kind of, at least to my knowledge, supposed to be directly like kind of towards haters and shit. And I believe, tell me if I'm wrong, and it don't matter because we're watching the DK TV version to kind of explain this a little bit more. But I lost my train of thought a little bit.
You said it was catered to the haters and all that?
Yeah.
It'll come back.
It'll come back. Someone else is gonna come back to me.
I'll go. Yeah. Well, you guys already know how I feel about Idol. Idol's super fire, so I'll just jump into the fits. My favorite fits in is definitely probably the suits, the colorful suits. J-Hope's was definitely my favorite. The stripe one, the chill yellow orangish one. I think Nikki was talking about like it's kind of like a safari beach, like down South America-ish look. Like that's definitely that type of look. Super fire, super cozy, super cool. Yeah. Both cool and cool. Definitely enjoyed this.
Sorry. We really hate you down here, Jerry.
Did you remember, Nick? You go.
Now you get him a circle of pain. Like they clip off.
You want you to forget again.
That really got me.
Yeah, because I was about to say you fucked up yourself too. Yeah. That shit funny. You forgot his shit so much. You good with your job? It'll get back to me. Yeah, you good? You came back? You came back? Don't want to go. It's so ready to come back. You came back? Don't laugh. It's gonna leave.
That was fire. That song always reminds me of Vegas. We was out there at the Permission to Dance concert, having a fun time. You know, one of my favorite parts about this is how every member had a moment. You know what I mean? Like when it's so many people in a group, it's very easy to sometimes, you know, let your brother go off and have his moment. But in this one, they all kind of had a moment where it was like, yeah, I'm here. So shout out to them. The video itself was very colorful. I loved everything that was going on in the background. Like this scene with the plane and stuff. That was very cool, trippy kind of vibe. Yeah, like Zach said, the fits was there. The song definitely reminded me of like summertime. I wonder what summertime is like in Korea. Yeah, shout out to them.
Imagine hearing this at that K-pop party, John.
We got slide on those.
Banger.
The crazy thing is when you mentioned Vegas, like when we went, I remember when they performed this. This was one of them joints where like the whole crowd, I was hugging like some 70-year-old grandmama in here like, you can't stop me. It was random people like just kind of like jumping up. Like, shout out to she like, it was me in the car.
I was there, I saw you.
But nah, it was good energy. And obviously, you know, you can say that for like a lot of their songs and shit. But it's that was my point earlier, was that for this to kind of be quote unquote like a diss song, the production on it is so intense and kind of so like kind of here and shit, yet somehow it's still smooth and clean and positive and shit. It's almost like a ha hater, like, you know, like kind of. I'm still happy, dickhead.
It's smug as shit.
You mad as shit. I'm loving life.
You bodied them in the most respectful way.
Positively respectful way.
Thank you. Respectfully.
BTS fashion.
Respectfully.
Julio?
I love the whole thing, man. Before even Nick even said it, that was like, I guess, a beach song. It's so uppity and like that vibe. You could tell like they want to smoke with something. Like you could see something behind it. You know what I mean?
He's with somebody.
It's the first time I ever heard it, and I felt that. I like the song, man. It's popping. The visuals is awesome. All the colors, everything about it, man. It's an uppity song, and like you said, a summer feeling. So it's a feel good song. So I like it, man. It was a good one.
Could never go
You
wrong with that
cannot
vibe.
like it.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that vibe.
Unless you're like a Debbie Downer, like I don't want happiness, like no, you know.
Yeah, it's hard to hate songs like that.
Ooh,
Yeah,
TV.
it happens often.
Oh, God.
It's yeah. When someone's on the chorus, like like tonight's gonna be a good night, you can't be in here like it's not, like, because then you just come off as that guy like, whoa,
You'll be like, I got fired today. Like,
I got fired today. Drink
Because I'm happy.
because I'm happy.
You would be more mopey.
Yeah,
be like, that's fine.
fired today.
It's
That's
alright.
fine. Yeah.
That was the
You're
thing
right.
too on here. I was like, Dynamite was over happy, and people was like,
Happy still be playing that.
Happy still gets
Oh my
played.
God, yes.
Like, please.
Please.
They last for those type of songs last forever for real. Like you just hopefully people happy in 50.
Hopefully.
It's a desolate future.
Shit, I hope so.
Oh my goodness gracious, great bowls of fire. No, I'm good. I already said.
No, you lean forward. I didn't.
Oh
wanna, like-
no, I was.
I didn't want to spend the money.
Oh yeah.
But no, I love this song. It definitely gives Vegas vibes for sure. Everything about it, really, you can't say enough about it. Especially for how many lines they were able to kind of balance between being in that space where it was like everyone was kind of hating on you, making fun of you, or whatever the case may have been, and yet you're just rising in popularity and fame, and basically for you to kind of still address it, but in a way that's accepting kind of everyone around you, as far as basically you're gonna hate, you're gonna do what you're gonna do, we're gonna continue to do what we're doing, and basically just kind of ride the wave of our own, passion, determination, success, all those things, and they certainly have. And this was even back then, especially. So to see where they are now, especially, is just incredible in and of that, in and of itself. But as far as the MV, like a lot of the touches I like that I didn't really notice or anything before. I don't think we actually reacted to it or anything, at least to my knowledge. But I think the video is really incredible. For one, them all kind of sitting at the table just by themselves, like they're in a league of their own kind of. And then all that's on the table is like a little globe, like basically like a worldwide kind of concept and everything. And that's something that's really interesting too, because it's like, they said a lot about Idol as far as like, how basically people in SK weren't really kind of taken to it as much as like, and I know there was a big struggle between the balance of like kind of some of the more traditional music and some of the newer wave music and kind of just balancing out, some of those things. So if it was one of those things where it's like you didn't really feel as accepted or as welcomed at home, whether it's like the other label things and blackballing and kind of all those things that we heard about, but then when you go kind of overseas, you are perhaps a little bit more alienated, it's a foreign language or whatever the case may be. So it just felt like they were kind of like stuck in between, like not ever really feeling accepted by anyone other than Army, of course. So it's like that.
Yeah, just to jump in real quick and then let you go right back in. I want to double down on that. They definitely, especially Redeemers, made it seem like it was a lot of situations, and even from videos we looked at where BTS, since they didn't come from those big three Hardship videos, go watch it. Yeah. Since they weren't in the big three labels, they were scrutinized and had a hard way to go with everything, and their success really came from all their hard work. With that being said, once they got on top, labels and everybody else was still hating on them. So imagine in your city and then, really your country, people are hating on you. You still killing numbers and doing everything. Now you're doing music that's also catering to other people worldwide. So now they almost saying like, yo, you're not even a K-pop artist no more. Y'all not really an idol. So they like, oh, I'm not an idol? I'm going to make a song called Idol. And I'm going to tell y'all haters. Exactly. And, so I just wanted to double down on that.
No, absolutely. And that's a great point to touch on as well, especially, for those on the panel who, might not have been, as well versed in kind of, a little bit of the journey that we've been on personally. So I just think that's awesome in and of itself, kind of spreading a little bit more of that knowledge, more of that, love and kind of just getting a sense of, all those things. But it's also really interesting too with Idol, especially like kind of being more of a diss song and everything, because it's, when they talk about some of the things that they have had to go through, like kind of as you mentioned, some of the label situations and everything, they really did everything on their own steam, their own power and everything, and to rise to the heights that they have, even at this time, like it was a real statement. And basically for people to kind of say they weren't idols or anything like that, or you weren't quote unquote like I guess a real idol. And I know there was conversations about that as far as like the rapping thing, is it real and all that stuff. But basically for them to kind of get to that position where they're like, we went through the idol training program, we are idols, you know what I mean? we are on a pedestal where we have to represent, what an idol is meant to represent as far as, being someone to look up to and all those kind of things. So it's
and a lot of Americans don't even know that.
No, exactly. So
Like,
it's basically
to
say in every sense of the word, they're an idol, yet people were still kind of saying that. So it was really just unnecessary to begin with. But for them to address it in the best way possible is really incredible. And even in Arms Race, where he's basically bending the words, English to Korean or whatever, idol is, of course, a word over here. But it's basically when he's saying, if you don't think we're an idol, he's like, I don't care, but he like stretched it to say idol.
Love that.
Yeah, so it's like that wordplay is incredible in and of itself too. So I love all those aspects. But the one thing that really stood out to me, especially in the video, that I'll say, because we love the choreo, the production, kind of all those things are incredible, and certainly feel universal, which I love as well. And definitely credit to the production and everything on that too. But I like how they're kind of they're treated like bait in a fish tank, everything, or like in a shark tank rather. So it's basically like all the industry around them, people, they're small, they're kind of minnow-like, everyone's trying to attack them, that sort of thing. And then basically when they kind of match cut it to later to where that ocean turns into like the purple ocean, so to speak, as far as army. Everyone around them kind of cheering them on, and you see them kind of in their bubble, like on stage, so to speak. But then you see the icons they are, like in taking the place of the shark, I guess. So it's basically you went from being kind of the little fish that's bait to the big fish, and that really says everything about what Hybe has been through, big hit, if you will, I suppose, and just kind of their rise in popularity, rise in fame, and yet they don't put them in a position where they're the shark, where they're like attacking anyone else. It's really like we're just up here doing us, and I just love that. I love that for them, and I think that's a great metaphor to kind of encompass everything as well.
Yeah, that's why K-pop is so interesting, because like obviously we have people of different like ethnicities up here, so if you're Spanish, you probably were used to hearing certain musics in your household growing up, and then you be hang with your black friends, and then you would hear like more music. You might have white friends too, and you would hang with them. You have some people who
I didn't say nothing about none of y'all music.
yeah, I ain't say shit.
I listen to it on my own.
But we'd be surprised how many people only kind of hear one genre of music, or opposed to like certain kind of music. So when you introduce people to like K-pop, especially with me trying to introduce as many of my friends to K-pop, you hear a lot. You hear almost like, oh, the industry plans, or this is going on, or they didn't work hard, and it's just like, bro, yeah. And some things are true. Some things may be a little bit true within that. But when we see kind of like all the hard work that goes in, how you got people here who just accidentally start rapping and get viral and then kind of make it from here.
Right.
You got people who've been working for 8 years since they've been 12.
Right.
And then debut. Imagine being 12 years old, leaving your house to move somewhere, a whole nother country. You gotta learn. Let's say you came in as a dancer, and then they tell you like, yo, you gotta learn how to rap, or you gotta learn how to sing. Yeah. And
it's interesting too.
You gotta make it work.
You gotta make it work.
I gotta figure it out.
If you come into a group as a dancer, for you to get any kind of song time, you have to either sing or rap, essentially. So you're kind of. It's really.
Imagine you fire and shit, but we only see that you fire during choreo.
I mean, you got 5 songs, you only dancing in one.
Right.
You can't get off on no ballads.
Right.
No, they have to go through so much constantly, years and years and years of training to sharpen those tools, and it's like it really speaks to just the level of hard work that goes into everything. So
imagine training for fucking 10 years and then coming over to the States, and you hear some ignorant ass person just be like, y'all aren't musicians, or y'all don't know real music, and it's just like, I didn't do shit to you, bro. I just got here.
Just got welcome to America. Exactly. Welcome to America.
So all that to say, I find all that like interesting, and that's why I like when we're able to hear like new music and new things and learn more about people. Because sometimes you shouldn't judge a book by its cover.
And invariably, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. And invariably, you learn about each other through this type of music too, because you didn't know X, Y, or Z actually listen to this sort of thing, you know what I mean? Or you introduce them, or vice versa, and then you have a conversation, and then you see each other in a sense, you know what I mean? So you can build friendships off of this shit, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying.
Just to piggyback off that, that's something I love about art in general. So I think that's a great addition as well. The last thing I was really going to say about this too is I love, and I know we know this specifically with our journey from seeing the Mama performance of Idol and everything, but basically, they did so much in there with the tribal kind of aspects of it, or I don't want to say necessarily tribal or kind of misspeak in saying that, but basically traditional kind of Korean like folklore and like things of that nature.
I was told it was done on purpose for
exactly.
the haters. Like, I'm not Korean enough for you. I'm gonna throw everything I can in here.
Traditional versions of dances and everything, and I remember vaguely kind of seeing
Korean.
bits of that. So for them to include little bits of that in the final kind of scene in the video as well. I just think that was also really incredible as well. So it's like it hits for us, of course, but I can imagine knowing the cultural like lore and backstory of everything, how much more of a double, triple down that some of those statements are, that really end up being, no pun intended, but mic drops in and of themselves in reference to everything. So I'm very excited to see the explained version of this and kind of get a little bit more about those things as well.
Yeah, I'm good. Joe good?
Okay.
Jump in the comments, man. Tell us how y'all felt about this. I hope y'all subscribe. This is a dope conversation. We're not like those other reactors that just tell you to buy their merch and keep it moving. But nah, no shade. Coming soon. Like, nah, but yeah, jump in the comments. Like I said, tell us how y'all felt about this. Tell us what other revisits y'all want us to do. Most of these revisits are going to be attached with a DK TV. The one for Idol will be up on the Patreon. YouTube, we love y'all. Y'all will be getting some exclusive. Take care. Wow. Yo, we'll be getting some exclusive DK TVs for y'all as well. But we do love y'all.
We do.
Thank you, Army.
Peace. Thank you, Army. Take care.